from the league's second week of action, all 6 games for you. All that and much more next on Inside the USFL.
This Bud's for everyone who's got the heart and courage to go the distance. Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
As you can see, the work crews are very busy here at Nickerson Field, changing around the scoreboard, getting it all ready for the Boston Breakers home opener this Sunday against the Washington Federals. The fans here in Boston hope a lot of numbers will be up on the Breakers side of the scoreboard. And speaking of numbers, there were quite a few points scored last Saturday night in Tempe, Arizona, when the Arizona Wranglers played host to the Chicago Blitz. Let's take a look at some highlights. Those numbers did not favor the homestanding Arizona Wranglers early. They trailed Chicago 29-12, and as we pick it up with 1:06 left, Chicago with only a 2-point lead, 29-27, and Arizona quarterback Alan Risher rolling to his left, hitting Neil Balholm down at the Blitz 48-yard line. Then with 40 seconds left, at the Chicago 47, Risher rolls to his right, keeps the ball, and would pick up another Wrangler first down to the Chicago 35. We'll pick the action up on the 26-yard line of the Blitz. 28 seconds now left in the game. Risher hits receiver Mark Keel down at the 18-yard line. That would be the last first down that the Wranglers would need to set up a field goal try. 4 seconds left in regulation. Kicker Jim Asmus had missed a couple of field goals earlier, but he wouldn't miss this time. The snap a bit low, but the kick is up and good. The Wranglers upset the Blitz 30-29. Quarterback Alan Risher talked about the game-winning drive.
I just wanted to move the football down the field 20 yards, not make a big play, and not try to force it too early. I think a lot of guys, quarterbacks, have a tendency to try to get too much too early, and I just wanted to nitpick at them. I knew we had a lot of time left on the clock, and I think receivers did a great job getting open, and we just got enough yards, and Jim came through with a big field goal.
All the guys, we got a bunch of great guys down here in the Wranglers, and we play as a family, and I owed it to them this week because I had such a poor performance last week, so I just had to do it for the Wrangler family.
So the Arizona Wranglers scored the 30-29 upset, but you know something? Coach George Allen of the Chicago Blitz, in 12 years as a professional football coach in regular season and playoffs, the opposing teams have scored 30 or more points only 12 times. That says something about the coaching of George Allen. Meanwhile, last Sunday afternoon, Veterans Stadium, Philadelphia, New Jersey Generals, Philadelphia Stars. This game definitely a tale of 2 running backs, one going one way, one the other. Herschel Walker, the beleaguered $5 million man of the Generals. Another tough day here. He fumbles his first fumble. As a professional football player, the Stars take advantage and recover. Then in the third quarter of play, we're going to see Herschel catch a swing pass from quarterback Bobby Scott. He's got some running room, but all of a sudden one of the Stars comes in, nails the ball with a helmet, it pops loose. Walker, a tough day, 60 yards on only 13 carries. Meanwhile, Philly's Calvin Bryant out of North Carolina had a big day. Bryant busting through the Generals' defense for 114 yards on 24 carries. In the fourth quarter, Philly leading 18-0. Bryant makes it 25-0 with his touchdown. He talks about week number 2 in Philly.
This week was a week better than we was last week. We wasn't really used to playing like a game situation, and this week we was more relaxed, and everybody was, concentrating on what they had to do, and we got the job done.
Calvin Bryant and his teammates did get the job done. Philly shuts out New Jersey 25-0. Saturday night, Tampa Stadium, Tampa, Florida. The Tampa Bay Bandits against the Michigan Panthers. Second quarter, we'll pick it up. No score in this game. Now, the Bandits would take the lead on a 6-yard touchdown pass from John Reeves to Eric Trevelyan out of Florida A&M. Bandits lead it 7-0 second quarter. But Michigan came right back. 42 seconds in the half. Quarterback Bobby Hebert from Northwestern Louisiana hits tight end Mike Cobb. We're tied at 7 at halftime. But the big story in this game was the running of third stringer Greg Boone, the running back, takes it in for the touchdown here. He rolled up 157 yards on 31 carries as the Tampa Bay Bandits beat Michigan 19-7, and Mark Lewis has more on running back Greg Boone.
Greg Boone, number 21 here for the Tampa Bay Bandits, isn't making a six-figure contract, and he didn't come from a football factory. In fact, his days as a collegian were spent at Duke. But after his Herculean performance versus the Michigan Panthers, he will get the asterisk next to his name in the USFL record book. Tampa Bay's regular fullback got to go it alone in the backfield because of injuries to the two first-team halfbacks, and all he did was respond with a 157-yard effort on 31 carries.
It was kind of unfortunate, that both our backs got hurt, but this week we would switch to a one-back offense because the type of defense that they played was, they try to send a whole lot of blitzes and things like that.
People don't know too much about Greg Boone. He's not on any scouting list. I brought him down here from Duke because I've watched him play for 3 years, and I know he's a football player. I think he proved that to maybe the whole country tonight.
Regarding his newfound notoriety, Boone modestly said he only hoped he could maintain the level at which he played versus Michigan. He realizes that Anthony Carter was the main attraction versus the Panthers, and this next week the Bandits take their 2-0 record on the road to the Meadowlands to battle with a guy named Walker, in a game where Greg Boone will have to prove himself all over again. In Tampa, I'm Mark Lewis for ESPN.
We'll have more USFL highlights later on in the program, and when I return, I'll be talking with Jim Feist and Gary Austin in Las Vegas about the latest lines on tap for the action in weekend number 3 of the USFL. All that and more when Inside the USFL continues.
Is this how you picture an Atlantic City casino? Then you haven't seen the new Playboy.
We've
taken Atlantic City out of the Stone Age.
I won. Oh, I like your dress, dear.
With a very civilized casino.
Hey, why don't you join us for dinner, huh?
4 civilized restaurants. And star-studded civilized shows. Come to the new Playboy Hotel and Casino and enjoy civilization.
Fine, thank you.
But alas, the new Playboy doesn't appeal to everyone.
You like it? I hate it. He hates it.
Civilization comes to Atlantic City, the new Playboy Hotel and Casino.
And now I'm joined by our cohorts in Las Vegas.
And 20th at the Playboy Cabaret.
In the United States Football League, as far as the bettors went.
However, unlike week number 1, where the handicappers really had a field day, week number 2 was a week for the house, you might say. And overall, how would you analyze in general the second week of the season?
Well, we in the sports books in Las Vegas were extremely pleased. The action was up this week, and different from the first week, they didn't pick a lot of winners. In fact, I think the most sports books won almost every game this week, as the players did not seem to have near the feel for it this week that they did for the first week.
Let's get right to the schedule for week number 3, Gary and Jim. The first game, a game that will be televised on ESPN, the Michigan Panthers, a team coming in with a 1-1 record to the Silver Dome to open their home season against the Oakland Invaders, also a team with a 1-1 record, Oakland being upset at home.
How do you handicap this game?
Well, it should be a very good game, as Michigan's only a 1.5-point favorite here. It's their opening week in the Silver Dome, and it looks to be a real close game. We'll see how Jim analyzes his selection.
I like the Invaders in this game, Tom. Quarterback Vecina's been playing very well. If it wasn't for their place kicker missing 4 field goals last week, and they were rather easy ones, they'd have won the game. Michigan hasn't put any points on the board. They're averaging 8 points a game their first 2 outings. Although this is their home opener, I think Oakland's the better club at this point in time.
All right, the other Saturday game has the LA Express unbeaten against the unpredictable Arizona Wranglers. How do you see that game?
Well, in Vegas, this game opened at 3. Now Los Angeles is a 3.5-point favorite, so for the people that like to bet those home underdogs, they'll get a chance this week. We're all interested to see if the Arizona quarterback can give a repeat performance of last week.
The Arizona team played really great Saturday night. They did a tremendous job coming back against the Blitz and George Allen. You have to remember in this game that Los Angeles is playing their first road game. They played 2 good games at home, but this is down in Arizona. It's at night. It's a tough place to play. I'm going to take the Wranglers and the 3.5 points.
All right, now Sunday, the one game that a lot of people have been looking forward to, Herschel Walker and the New Jersey Generals at home for the first time. They've been duds on the road. How are they going to do against the Tampa Bay Bandits, who are undefeated?
Well, in Vegas, Tampa Bay has been established a 1-point favorite. As you know, the Generals do have a problem at quarterback. Bobby Scott, who's been playing poorly, also has an injury, and that should affect the game. Actually, the Generals probably would have been favored from anywhere as 1 to 3 if it hadn't been for the injury, and we'll see how Jim analyzes the selection here.
Under normal circumstances, I'd probably go with Tampa Bay in the game, but I feel the odds makers moved the line too much. New Jersey's going to have 36,000 people in the stands, at least, and Tampa Bay is playing their first road game. New Jersey looked terrible last week, but they were moving the football until they turned it over 7 times.
All right, now, the line with the Chicago Blitz against Arizona was over 10 points, and once again this week,
Chicago is, I believe, a 13-point favorite against the Denver Gold. Gary, why does Chicago continue to get the big lines on their favor?
Well, even though Chicago did not get the money last week, the factor was that everybody in the world bet Chicago. We actually opened the game about 2.5 points lower than it closed, and so we do know that people feel that Chicago is the best team in the league, and they feel they want to be betting on George Allen. I think most people, especially anybody that's seen Denver, is kind of down on Denver. They've not moved the ball, and so we do feel that it's going to take at least the 2 touchdowns to get anybody to want to bet on Denver.
This is a big line, probably too big, but Denver seems to be having a lot of trouble getting the ball in the end zone. They're going to start Ken Johnson at quarterback this week, but this is the Blitz's home opener with George Allen losing last week the way that they lost that game. I'm going to lay the points and go with the Blitz.
One line that moved an awful lot this past week has really intrigued me. The Boston Breakers were a slight favorite, now an even larger favorite, a prohibitively large favorite, against the Washington Federals.
So why the movement in that line?
Well, Tom, this is a good example of how the odds makers has to consider what happens on TV the week prior. And Washington did look so poor at Los Angeles. Other than getting a field goal on their opening drive, they almost had a non-existent offense. Also, we're aware that anybody watching the game seen that their best receiver, their best running back, and probably their best quarterback were all injured. So we feel that many people will be looking to bet against Washington. So therefore, we've established Boston a 9-point favorite, trying to split the money in this game.
Well, I am going to be one of those people that's going to lay the points in this game. Boston's played 2 good games on the road. They lost down at Tampa, won out in Denver last week, which is a real tough place to play. This is their home opener. Johnny Walton's been completing a high percentage of his passes. Washington has 3 critical injuries to their team. I have to lay the points. This looks like a real blowout.
Monday night game on ESPN, the undefeated Philadelphia Stars with Kelvin Bryant having a great game against the Generals. They go down to the Southland in Birmingham against the 1-1 Stallions. How do you see that game?
Well, this is possibly the best game of the week. It looks like Philadelphia could be the best team in the league. They certainly have a fine offensive line, and Fusina, the quarterback, did look good last week. And we've established Philadelphia a field goal, 3 points at Birmingham. And so it's kind of interesting this week because there's a number of road teams that are favored, and that usually doesn't happen in pro football.
I agree. The Philadelphia Stars looked great last week, and they looked real good the week before. But Birmingham played a good game last week also, and I think coming home after losing their first home game, this is a real critical game for them. They're going to be sky high. It's Monday Night Football. I'm going to take the dog.
Gary Austin, Jim Feist, thank you very much for your opinions and also your analysis of week number 3 of the United States Football League season. We'll be watching this weekend to see how you do. Thanks for being with us. We'll check in with you again next week. But, you know, if anyone knows what the USFL players are going through in the early part of a brand-new league, our own Paul McGuire can certainly identify with them. Paul was a part of the American Football League when it first started way back in 1960. Paul McGuire is here now with a few thoughts comparing the new USFL against the now old American Football League.
Well, with 2 weeks gone in the USFL, there are 2 things that I'm a little bit disappointed in, but I think they can work them out. Number 1 is the kicking game. We've seen so many missed extra points, so many missed field goals from in close range. Now, one of the things that people say is the fact that they have not had any preseason games, and they really never had a chance to work on their special teams. That's going to come. But you take a look at some of the kickers. Some of these guys have been around a while, and they should be able to kick. You're going to see a lot of kickers coming in and out of different camps, and that's expected at this time. But a lot of these guys had better worry about their jobs right away. The other thing is the offensive line. And that one of the reasons that disappoints me is because they really don't have the caliber players right now. Now, you got to understand something. The offensive line is the last thing that really comes together. You've got all these guys that have to worry about picking up blitzes, which we saw in the game this evening. You got guys that have to worry about run blocking. That's a problem. So this is something that will come. But I am a little bit disappointed in the offensive line. I think that some of the guys are a little small, but they'll find some bigger guys as the year goes on.
Coming up next, we'll have highlights of last week's games between Boston and Denver, Birmingham and Oakland, and Washington and L.A. when Inside the USFL continues in a moment.
If you've been thinking of subscribing to TV Guide, now's the time.
Because right now, you can call and get TV Guide at a real money-saving subscription price, the lowest price available.
Yes, now you can order 30 weeks of TV Guide at our low basic rate and pay in 3 easy monthly installments of just $4.44 each.
What's more, you can count on TV Guide for the most useful, accurate program information available from any source. Week after week, you'll appreciate the expanded listings that include your favorites on cable and pay TV.
Lively new features and columns, easy to read prime-time guides, plus previews of all the new exciting shows, sports and specials, and movie reviews you can really trust.
But find out for yourself. Call and order today.
For 30 weeks of TV Guide, call toll-free 800-544-1000. Send no money. You'll be billed later for 3 monthly payments of just $4.44 each. 800-544-1000. Toll-free 800-544-1000.
This is historic Boston Harbor, site of the famous Boston Tea Party, the first example of open American rebellion to colonial rule by the British. The site of the first win by the Boston Breakers of the United States Football League was a few thousand miles west of here in Denver's Mile High Stadium against the Denver Gold. The Boston Breakers and the Denver Gold will pick it up, no score in the second quarter of play. The Denver Gold attempting a field goal, but Ernie Price of Boston blocks it, and look at this, Ben Needham picks the ball out of the air and rumbles untouched 68 yards, and the Breakers break out on top in this game, 7-0 in the second quarter. Later in the same second quarter, the Breakers show some razzle-dazzle. Tony Davis, the running back, pitching back to Johnny Walton, the quarterback, on the flea flicker. Nolan France on the other end of the pass for the touchdown. 39 yards, it's 14-0 Boston. Boston's lead swelled to 21 points in the third quarter when Walton and Davis teamed up for a 14-yard scoring pass. The Breakers go on to win it 21-7 and even their record at 1-1. Denver falls to 0-2. Sunday afternoon football return to the Oakland Coliseum. The Oakland Invaders taking on the Birmingham Stallions. First quarter of play, Oakland breaking out on top as we take a look at part of the mammoth crowd, well over 40,000 in attendance. Glad to see football back in the East Bay area. Ted Terosian goes in from 1 yard out to give the Invaders a first quarter 7-0 lead. Third quarter 7-all. Stallions go on top as Ken Talton goes over in a 1 yard scoring drive. But Oakland comes right back. Quarterback Fred Pacina found Wyatt Henderson open 26 yards. Touchdown. We're tied at 14. Oakland had a chance to win the game, but Kevin Shea missed this 27-yard chip shot, and we go into overtime. In the overtime, quarterback Bob Lane of Birmingham, filling in for the injured Reggie Collier, scores in this 1 yard plunge. Now watch the officials. Did he break the plane or not? They talk about it. They talk about it some more. Eventually they say touchdown. And Birmingham wins it in overtime, 20-14. The Stallions are 1-1. The Invaders also 1-1. Monday night, a game seen on ESPN. L.A. Memorial Coliseum. Washington and the L.A. Express will pick it up in the second quarter. We're tied at 3. And take a look now. L.A. Express running back LaRue Harrington, who led all rushers with 54 yards, picked up 44 of those yards on this single carry against the Washington Federals. That run set up this 17-yard touchdown pass from former Oakland Raider quarterback Mike Ray to Ricky Ellis. Express lead at 10-3. Then on the ensuing kickoff, perhaps the biggest play of the game as the Express fans show their pleasure at that touchdown. Washington's Eric Robinson would take the kickoff about 3 yards deep in the end zone, and he fumbles right Here, there goes the ball in midair, recovered by Ricky Orange of Los Angeles at the Federals' 13-yard line. And just 2 plays later, again, it's quarterback Mike Ray hitting Ricky Ellis. This time an 18-yard scoring strike. The Express led the game 17-3, and you can see that L.A. is imitating the Fun Bunch with the Washington Redskins. Watch this little dance, if you will, in the end zone. That's quite something. L.A. was stingy on defense as well. They're pressuring Washington quarterback Mike Honesy and Kim McQuilkin all night long. We talked to head coach Hugh Campbell.
I thought that we played pretty well, particularly the middle part of the game. I think that Washington did a fine job moving the ball against us early, and we adjusted to that pretty well. And through the middle quarters, I thought we played pretty darn good football.
Once again, the final score, and again, it was seen last Monday night on ESPN. L.A. wins it 20-3 over Washington. Washington 0-2. L.A. is 2-0 as we take a look now at the United States Football League standings. In the Atlantic Division, Philadelphia Stars 2-0 are 1 game ahead of the Boston Breakers, while New Jersey and Washington both at 0-2. In the Central Division, it's the Tampa Bay Bandits with a 2-0 record. Chicago, Michigan, and Birmingham all tied at 1 win and 1 loss. As far as the Pacific Division goes, the Los Angeles Express on top, 2-0. Oakland and Arizona 1-1. The Denver Gold, one of the weaker teams in the league so far, with a record of 0-2. As far as our DuPont Player of the Week goes, inside the USFL this week, no doubt about it, this man, number 7 Arizona Wrangler quarterback Alan Risher, the rookie out of LSU, against the Chicago Blitz last Saturday on ESPN. 28 out of 40 for the game, 269 yards passing, and here's a look at 1 of 3 touchdown passes. Alan Risher displaying the poise of a veteran in his first start as a professional football player, led the Arizona Wranglers back from the depths, trailing 29-12 to beat Chicago 30-29. There you see the stats. Congratulations to Alan Risher. This DuPont Player of the Week has been brought to you by Rain Dance Car Wax Products.
Rain dancing on your car's finish means the wax protection isn't finished. And who keeps the rain dancing? Rain Dance. It's guaranteed to last longer than the leading car wax, paste, or poly. Water beading proves it. Rain Dance keeps the water beading long after the competition falls flat. And longer lasting means less waxing. So keep the rain dancing longer on your car with Rain Dance. And you won't have to wax so often.
Saturday, get set for unparalleled twists and turns. It's the USGF Gymnastics Men's Final here on your source for sports. It's the Birmingham Stallions and the Philadelphia Stars on ESPN's Monday Night USFL Football. Reggie Collier, Kelvin Bryant, and Irv Eatman turn their talents loose in the professional ranks. Monday night means live USFL football on ESPN, where the cheering never stops.
The AstroTurf surface here at Nickerson Field is being lined for the home opener Sunday afternoon between the Boston Breakers and the Washington Federals, but the pregame preparations don't stop on the field. They also extend into the stands. Nickerson Field is being expanded and renovated. Nickerson Field is the smallest stadium in the United States Football League, seating around 20,000.
Our first choice, as we had said all along, was Harvard, and we were unable to get Harvard only because the university felt that it wasn't a good mix with their academic community, and we were basically left with Schaefer Stadium and BU, and all along we said we really wanted to be a Boston team, if at all possible, and through the efforts of President Silber and the rest of his staff, we were able to work out a deal here and keep the team in Boston. We obviously like to have more seats, but we think for the first season this will be, adequate, and then we'll just have to take a look at it next year.
We are increasing the size of the facility to approximately 21,000 seats for this season. In addition, we've had work done in the press box, in the locker room. I've just come out today to look at all that's happened. And sure, they're on schedule. I mean, they're going to work around the clock, and they'll get it done. The men who are working on this job have done it before, and they know what it's all about, and they know there's a time schedule, and they'll meet it.
The Breakers picked up their first win last Sunday at Denver with plays like this blocked field goal and run back helping the cause. Owner Randy Vataha says that the win makes coming home this weekend all the more exciting.
We're 1-1, and we had to play 2 games on the road, and anytime you can come out 500 your first 2 games ever and playing both away, you got to be pleased. And I think the team improved a great deal from the first to the second game, which all the teams in the league are. Our big concern was our defense, and they seem to have come along. And offensively, we played 2 good football games in a row. So we're very optimistic about it.
And a win also helps ticket sales, a fact that has club president Bob Capperell optimistic heading into this weekend's home opener against the Washington Federals.
The past month, and in particularly the past several weeks, we've really had a tremendous influx of not only ticket purchases, but just overall interest in the team. And now that the season has actually started, we're kind of catching up that way, because some people like to see it happen before they believe it. Now they've seen it happen and they believe it.
A reminder, you've always got a seat on the 50-yard line for USFL action with ESPN. This Saturday night, we'll be live at the Pontiac Silverdome as the Michigan Panthers open their home season. They'll be hosting the Oakland Invaders. Tom Kelly and Don Heinrich will be there to bring you all the action. And this coming Monday night, live from Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama, the Birmingham Stallions will play host to Kelvin Bryant and the undefeated Philadelphia Stars. Jim Simpson and Paul McGuire will be there for that game as well. And we'll be here next week with another edition of Inside the USFL.